The salary list page is a very powerful page that has a lot of functionality that would allow you to manage and perform batch actions on salaries. So to get to that page, you go to the employees module and you click on salaries on the nav bar. Now, what this page shows you is all of the active salaries for all of your employees. So if you remember, we have 5 active employees currently, and we're seeing the salaries for each one of them. So for Jenny, it's time rated. John is fixed rated. Jean is also it's time rated. Mana fixed rated, and Pat fixed rated. And we're able to see their salary amounts. Of course, the time rated salaries don't have a fixed amount because they're based on their hourly rates. So we can see that, and then for the time rated salaries, we're able to see those rates there. You also see allowances that are attached to the salary and an estimated gross income. Of course, this is your salary plus allowances. You can even further to this filter the data. So if you wanted to see salaries for all employees from a specific branch, maybe you wanted to see, hey, who are the persons from Barbies and how much do they earn? So we can see that, Mana and Pat are 2 employees from Barbies, and this is how much they earn. Similarly, if you wanted to see salaries from a specific department, you can do that. And like other pages, there are alternative columns that you can enable on this page. So if you select the column section here, you'd be able to see branches and departments, right? So if we turn that on, you can see which branch and which department team members are from, even any standard overtime values, estimated NIS, estimated PAYE, estimated net income, overtime rate, work days, and for salaries that have expired, when were they closed. And you see these columns show up here. Now, apart from the additional columns, you can also export this data. So if we wanted an export of all the team members from Barbies and their salaries, we select the data that we'd want through the column selector, and then you click export. Now what happens is that a CSV with all the salaries are now downloaded. So as you can see here, I have the CSV with all the salaries, and of course there's a comma separated list of allowances that come with these salaries as an example. So these are some of the functions that you can do on this page. Let me just navigate back so I can reset the page. All right, there we go. Apart from that, you have some really cool batch update functionality that are linked to salaries. So let's say that, let's select all our team members. In fact, let's select all of our engineering team members. So I'm going to load up everybody in the engineering department, and I select them. You can update things such as the effective from, if you wanted to change salary class, payment frequency, amounts, if they pay NIS, PAYE, everything can be updated from here in a batch manner. Now do keep in mind though that when updating salaries from this section, if we're updating the direct salary data, the salary record itself does not change. It gets closed and a copy is made that now has the updated figures, because of course we want to keep the history of salaries in the system. All right, so let's go ahead and update our engineering department. There are a few other functionalities, as you can see here. You can add allowances for multiple persons and even add deductions and remove allowances. So the company has decided to allow engineering department an entertainment allowance from 1st of May. So I'll go ahead and add that, $10,000, and this will be a non-taxable allowance. All right, so I'll go ahead and add that. Of course, we have to reload this page. So now we can see that for all of our engineering team members, they have an entertainment allowance. We do see though that we made a mistake and added a second entertainment allowance for Mana. So I'm going to multi-select Mana, and I can actually close the entertainment allowance. But because there's an ambiguity, I should open her profile, and what I'll do is on her salary, I will remove that duplicate allowance. All right. So there's an example of what you can do. And similarly, you can remove allowances from team members. So if you remember in previous videos, we would have added a top secret allowance. However, our company no longer works for the military, and maybe we want to remove this allowance. So what we can do, again, we select all employees, and you will notice that Techlify HR detects that only 2 employees have this allowance. So I can go ahead and close this allowance and set the close date. I will set it at the end of the month so they get the full amount, and hit save. And if I reload, I see, sorry, these salaries still have the top secret allowance, but if I browse to the salary, we'll see that it's closed at the end of May. That's why it's still showing up there. So this is how you're able to manage multiple salaries, batch add allowances, batch update, download salaries. This employee salaries page is a very powerful page that you can make use of within your organization.